everyone, I'm John Kimble. If you don't know me, it's pretty easy to find me. I'm the kindergarten cop on the internet, so if you look up kindergarten cop and John Kimble, then you know who you need to vote for. I have run before, and I have seen the changes in Maryland. Some good, some bad. But the nice thing is that we have 3 different football teams that people are fans of. In the D.C. area, it's the Redskins. Around this area, that's a naughty name. In Baltimore, it's the Ravens. And in Western Maryland, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I get along with all the fans from all these 3 teams. And if you look at my issues, you'll see that in Maryland, you really can't go to the right too far. I tried to run against the congressman one time, and I had him so close, but I just didn't have the heart to rip his hairs out and win the election. I should have. But Maryland is so far to the left that we have to bring it back to the center or to the right a little bit. And if you look at the economic situation that we've been put in, it's not that we are broke by any means. As far as what is the country worth, it's worth quadrillions of dollars. We're just cash poor, and that's because Mr. Obama has given it away. And that's not right, and we do have to get a change. And I'd like you to vote for me, but make sure that you get everyone out to vote, regardless of party, and tell them it is their civic duty to vote. Thank you. This is kind of a funny little mic, but I don't think that it's something that we have to look at in terms of shooting yourself in the head, in terms of what is dire emergency or something like cutting your foot off or anything like that. It is bad. We need to cut Obama health care. You know, that's the one thing that's probably put us into the worst situation. The businesses are cutting health care. It doesn't cover anything, and it's going to break everyone up. I think that it was the beginning of the end, and if he hadn't put Obama in office, we wouldn't be having these problems. But we also have to realize something. When everyone was talking about their house being worth $500,000 or $1 million, it wasn't real. And that's the whole problem. Everything in our country is fake. You know, and as you get older, you learn these things. You look at these things like speeches that people write, you think, oh, this guy's a great speaker. Well, unless he's got no teleprompters around, it's some little horn-rimmed guy sitting back in the corner that's written it, and the guy isn't such a great person after all. We have to get down to common sense and go from there. Thank you. In my opinion, what caused the financial meltdown in 2008 is the fact that we allowed too many people to come into our country. You had people making $42,000 a year getting loans for $500,000 homes. And then the gasoline was real cheap, and you had the gasoline all of a sudden hit up high. When it got high, people couldn't afford $600 or $700 a month in gasoline payments, and then they lost their houses. And with the gasoline prices going back up, it's going to happen again. And there's just no way to combat that. Sarbanes-Oxley, you know, that's an afterthought. I don't think it really did anything, but we have to keep the gas low and get rid of the ethanol. That's leading to deforestation, which causes other problems. And once we get rid of the ethanol, it'll lower the prices on the fuel and the food, and that's going to make people be able to live. Everyone is corrupt. We know everyone is corrupt. As you get older, you find that out. And we have to have a heavy hand up there to keep watching. Thank you. I don't think there's any question that there's lots of welfare fraud. But what you have to do is make sure that the truly disabled are protected and given money to survive and live, and then the people who are out doing crack and all that kind of stuff, which does seem to be normal, needs to be kicked off. And they saw that down in Florida, where they are fighting it in the court saying it's unconstitutional. I believe that everyone that's on welfare should be checked for the drugs, because substance abuse is destroying America. That's probably the #1 thing is welfare. But you can't just kick people out and say, well, go to work. I mean, you have to realize, if you sit with your calculator and look at your figures, if you say, well, all right, I get $10 an hour sitting at home doing nothing, and I don't have to spend any money for gas in my car, these people aren't going to go out and work. You have to make it where they can go out and get work that's productive for them and where they are gainful. You know, they keep talking about gainfully employed. Gainful employed means that you're making money that you can actually do something with, and not just go out and work just so people can say, well, you're working. The funniest thing I ever did when I first ran for Congress was I said, send them home and kick them out and grab them by the seat of the pants and throw them right out of the country. And then I had a joke. I said, well, if you go to the right, the conservative will tell you, let's take them put them in an airplane and fly them over and throw them out without a parachute. The moderate will tell you, well, let's provide them a parachute, and the liberal will give them your house. The problem in our country is that the liberals are indeed giving them our houses. And we do have to have background checks on anyone that comes in here. I have no problem if somebody is coming in the legal way and the honest way, and if they have money to spend. But we have too many people who come here and they take our money and then they can go back. I have a neighbor that he was illegal, came to the country, was granted asylum, and then he moved into a huge house, and then he lost it. But he's got another house in his country so he can go back there. Americans don't normally have houses all around the world. And background checks will do that, and that'll help. Thank you. Appreciate you guys inviting me. I sometimes do make some off-color jokes, and I apologize if anyone's offended, but you know, this is America. And that's the whole problem with our country. He said, if we sit here and we say, well, you can't say that because I'm offended. Well, that's not America, folks. I want America back. You know, there's comedians that make jokes, and that's what they are. They're jokes. And everyone takes themselves too seriously in our country. And we're not going to win unless we stop calling it conservative. We have to say, people who spend your money wisely. Our economy has done better with Republicans in it. And if you look at the history of our country, every time a liberal has been in there, such as Obama or Carter, we get Republicans in, and then the economy picks back up. So it will pick back up, and Republicans will be in there, but we do have to go towards the center. We can't be to the right. You know, when I talk about immigration now, I talk about background checks on everyone coming in, and I have no problems with that, and I don't think any reasonable person would. But I do believe that we can't keep giving everyone money and opportunities to people from other countries that take jobs away from Americans. Americans, everyone that lives here, regardless of race, color, or creed. And we have to come out there, and we have to vote, and we have to make sure that people don't have apathy. And you folks don't have apathy, but I have seen apathy all over this state. And we need to try to get in contact with people who are through Western Maryland and get those people to help out too. But thank you all, and I do appreciate you.